Hey everyone, how are you all? I hope you are doing super. So last week I shared a video about Instagram stories, gave you some basics about how to use Instagram stories and also just some of the features. So I wanted to share a bit more information about Instagram stories today. As I said last week, one of the problems I have with people is they don't know what to share. So I want to share a stat with you first of all. So I want to read this because I don't want to get it wrong. So there are 400 million Instagram stories every day, with a third of the most viewed being created by businesses, and that's from Hootsuite. So this just shows you how important it is to be sharing stories. So people struggle with what to share. I've even had people say, I have nothing going on in my life, so what am I going to share? So a really good way to help you learn about what to be sharing in your stories is thinking what a day in the life of you is like. So it's probably a lot more interesting than you actually think. So one example I use when I speak to clients is behind the scenes. So what's happening behind the scenes of your brand? If you're making something, if you're going to an event and setting up, if you're doing some prep work. So that's really, really good example of stories you could be sharing as well. Another example is client feedback. So if you are doing a really, really good job and you've got clients out there who are super happy and they're sharing your testimonials, share them in your stories. It's a really, really good way to help people understand more about you and what you're doing, and also to understand more about what you're doing well. So that's a really, really good example as well. Another example of what you could be sharing is if you've got new products or services, then you can be sharing that in your stories as well. If you've got a new launch happening, or if you've got something exciting coming up, then create that excitement through your stories as opposed to just doing it through your feed. Remember what I said last week, the views on stories are much, much more than they've ever been before. So you want to take advantage of this and make the most of it as well. Another really good example to do in stories is to use the poll and the quiz features. So this will allow you to get to know your customer, and with these features you can also help them get to know you as well. So those are kind of like 4 examples of content. So 1 is behind the scenes, images, videos, etc. 2 is client feedback. 3 is new launches or products. And 4 is using polls and quizzes. Next week, I'll be talking a bit more about highlights. So I mentioned last week that each story lasts for 24 hours and it either goes to your archive or you can make it a highlight. Now, if you want to make it a highlight, it sits on your profile basically forever. So next week, I'm going to give some basics around highlights, and I'll give you also some ideas on content as well when it comes to highlights too. As always, make sure you keep an eye out for videos. If you've got any questions, send me a DM or drop them into the comment section below. And I will speak to you all very, very soon. And I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.